Human beings are special creatures because of their ability to rationalize matters. Their minds accept ideas easier when they follow a rule. Once they are not familiar to what is happening, they consider it a mystery. However, ignorance has tightened its grip over the minds of many people, and because of their own lack of knowledge, they tend to explain things as mysteries. Myths fill their minds. While these things may have actual explanations between mystery and myth, but we will never solve all the mysteries out there. Not only will many historical enigmas remain unsolved, many will arise in the future. The MH370 Malaysian plane is a good example. With nothing conclusive after weeks of searching, will we ever discover its fate? So, we at Come Along collected the most mysterious things that nobody can explain. Let's start the ride. Jean Hilliard, the Ice Woman. The body of Jean Hilliard, a young lady who was 19 years old, was discovered frozen in the snow one morning in Langbein, Minnesota. The woman was sent to the hospital and declared frostbitten. 2 hours after the decision to amputate her legs, she started to shake violently out of convulsions. The nurses rushed to her to find Jean recovering and regaining her consciousness. She left the hospital after a short time, 49 days, with a completely perfect body that has no mental or physical problems to stun everyone. Animals in hiding. Animals hiding in unbelievable places like trees and rocks have turned to be commonplace. What is stranger is that in 1976, a construction crew from Texas reported seeing a green turtle inside concrete, which was made a year ago. When they broke it, to their surprise, the turtle was alive. How it managed to get there and continue to live without food or water is an exotic fact. There were no cracks or holes in the concrete to allow the turtle to breathe. So how did it stay alive? Raining blobs. In the summer of 1994, the Oakville town in Washington was showered by gelatinous blobs instead of rain. When technicians examined the blobs, they found that they contained bacteria and blood cells. The falling of these strange blobs from the sky resulted in harming almost all the people in Oakville, as they developed what is like the symptoms of the flu, and it lasted for about 7 to 12 weeks. After analyzing the blobs, human white blood cells were found in the globs, and there were also 2 types of bacteria in the blobs, with one type of them existing normally in the digestive system of humans. How the blobs were formed to fall from the sky like rain, and why they caused sickness to all the residents of the town are still major questions that have no answers to this day. Joe Girardelli. In the early 1800s, Joe Girardelli was the hot new fire act on the block. Taking on a whole new angle on fire acts, Girardelli was able to swallow red-hot objects without it causing her any pain or harm. Those who saw her perform were amazed at what was happening before their eyes. Girardelli was able to rinse her mouth with nitric acid without it burning holes in her gums and cheeks. To prove that she really had the acid in her mouth and not some harmless fluid, she would spit it onto iron where it would immediately start eating through the metal. Girardelli also played around with boiling oil, filling her mouth with it and then spitting it out, causing a minor fire when it landed on wood. Joe Girardelli didn't stop there. All her acts had to be bigger and better, so she started using hot wax and molten lead. She heated metal objects, such as shovels, over open fires and then pressed them against her skin. She even pressed her tongue against some of them. In all of these acts, her flesh remained just as it was before, completely unburned. She remained a hot topic all over England, and no one was ever able to figure out just how she did what she did. Not even the skeptics were able to prove any trickery on her part. There is no record of Joe's life after she moved from England, and her amazing acts remained as mysterious as ever. Foo Fighters. The term Foo Fighters was applied to various UFO sightings that occurred during the Second World War. During the war, fighter pilots and warship crews noticed strange lights in the sky and silver objects that looked like discs zipping overhead. In late 1942, a Royal Air Force pilot was flying a Hurricane fighter plane over France when he noticed 2 strange-looking lights flying toward his aircraft. He assumed they were a tracer fire until he realized that the lights were actually following him, repeating all the moves he made while in the air. No matter how hard he tried, the pilot was unable to evade the lights. He also noticed that they kept an even space between them while pursuing him. Only after several miles did they finally disappear from view. This strange incident came just 4 months after Marines in the Solomon Islands reported seeing a formation of over 150 silver-colored objects racing through the sky. The Marines noted that the objects made a strange noise and that they didn't have tails or wings as airplanes do. All mention of the sightings were suppressed until the war neared its end. The first reports of FOOs didn't hit newspapers until December 1944. Chilean Ghost Town Skeleton. A skeleton 6 to 8 inches long was discovered outside a Chilean ghost town with hard teeth, bulging head, and scaled skin made most think this was something extraterrestrial. Only after it was declared human did the question arise for an explanation for its size, mutations, and origin. None of those answers were ever found. Aluminum wedge of Aiud. Back in 1974, a group of workers in Romania discovered 3 different objects 10 meters deep in a sand trench. 2 of the items were prehistoric elephant bones that have been dated as old as 2.5 million years ago. The third object, however, is an aluminum wedge that was found together with the ancient bones. This discovery dumbfounded most researchers, as aluminum was difficult to create even by 19th century standards. While some call it evidence of extraterrestrials, others are calling it a hoax. Whatever it is, we may never know. The Rain Boy. Donnie Decker started to be known in 1983 as the Rain Boy. He was known for his strange behavior in a series of situations. For a number of times, he went to visit different places and people had to dismiss him. The reason behind was Decker's weird behavior, as he went into what resembles a trance state. And since then, the weather changes in the place where he is, and it begins to rain whenever he wants. After Decker had to change his residence for a number of times, he revealed his secret. Donnie Decker claimed and proved that he could make it rain upon request. The Hutchinson Effect. The Hutchinson Effect is a number of strange phenomena that happened to inventor John Hutchinson when he tried to follow the steps of Nikola Tesla in his experiments. Hutchinson witnessed a number of unjustifiable phenomena during experiments like levitation, his ability to fuse a number of different materials such as wood and metal, and the disappearance of a few objects which are small in size. Out of surprise, Hutchinson tried to repeat his experiment again, but he didn't get the same results. Even NASA and the military tried to get the Hutchinson effect, but failed. So what do you think was the most mysterious thing in this list? And can you give us your explanation?
Let us know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll pin our favorite to the top. Don't forget to give us a like if you enjoyed this video. We have a ton of more interesting